And thank you for joining us today to the August Release Highlights webinar. We're glad to be here and to share with you the latest features and status. Before we're delving into the details, let's review briefly the timelines of the installations. For the sandbox installation has been completed yesterday, and the production environments will be installed in 2 weeks on Sunday. Primo VE semi-annual indexing is ready. As Einav mentioned, feel free to write down your questions during the session. We'll try to address everything at the end. And now to the agenda, what we're going to review today. This session today is quite different from the usual quarterly webinars. We're going to share with you the enhancements and features that are going to be released as part of August. And in addition, we are going to provide you with a glance into the next discovery experience. The reason for doing so is because we are working a lot on the next discovery experience. This is kind of a compass illuminating the vision of how we see Primo, and it is important for us to share with you what we're currently doing. From time to time, we're providing answers that some things are fixed or will be fine-tuned in the next discovery experience. New features will be included in the next discovery experience. That's why we wanted to provide you with a sneak peek into what we're currently doing. So in terms of the current release, we're going to review today the bulk export, which is relevant for both Primo Classic and Primo VE. This is a great feature, nurse enhancement that was requested by the community. Link open data enhancements. Since the release of link open data in May, we got a lot of feedback from the community, and that's why we added a few enhancements. We'll review a few more additional notable items, and then we'll get to the next discovery experience. As I mentioned, this is kind of a compass for us, and we're working on it right now. Although many of the areas are not going to be released during this year or soon, but it is important for us to keep you updated with the status and progress. The four big building blocks of the next discovery experience. The first one is the new UI, the user engagement analytics, which will be provided with Mix panel, link open data, which is already implemented as part of this year's roadmap, and the research assistant. And now let's start with August release. Features. Nearly over to you for the background guest.
Yeah, just if I can just say, Nav, if you are sitting, there is a lot of new noise. Maybe Samia, if you can write, yeah, and mute the other. I'm hearing a lot of noise. Yes, thank you. Okay, great. So let's talk about this nurse enhancement, the option to export all results. As community voted, and this was kind of challenging, and we are delivering it now. So what is it all about today? Well, let's first mention what we have today. Today, you have the option to export few selected records and export it. And you can have the option to export a selected page, or we also have the option to select up to 50 results. And now with this enhancement, we are introducing a new option. We added it next to the choose top results, as customer may already adjust to select and then to export. So we have added it here, and this option is actually trying to address the needs of advanced researchers that they want to later review the mass of the results for the researchers, and they need the option to export as much as all the results. We are targeting to export all results, but it's actually export up to the limited number of results, and this set is like if you are in blended, it will be up to 10,000, or if you are in a dedicated scope, local or CDI, it will be up to 5,000 records. And user will also have the option to select select what kind of format to export, whether to export to Excel, to Arial RIS, or to BibTeX. And once clicking on the send, a file is going to be attached to the email. You are going to fill in your email, and it will take a few minutes. Well, behind the scenes, we have our search engine crawling for the search results and preparing that results. We are going to attach it into a file, and then your user are going to get the results list attached to their email. I'd like to do a first demo, and then we highlight things in the slides, more emphasize other stuff. So here I'm searching in a local view as material for research. I'm seeing that I get like 24,000 results, and I'd like to export all of them if possible. So I can see that I have now the option to export all results, and I am going to attempt to click it. Now, since this option is like considered to be an heavy operation our search engines, we are going to limit that to only to signed in to signed in user. So once again, I encourage the user to sign in, and then I can export all of my results. I'm being asked to select one of those formats. Let's say I'm export to Excel, and I can choose the format and fill in my email and add, this is not in Hebrew, or yes, this is my material, my research material. Okay, you can see also that we add here a note that can be, of course, you can custom that the number of search results exceeds the number. In this case, we had 24,000 results, and it exceeds the number that we are allowed to export, because we said that we're going to limit up to 5,000 records per each scope. So we are mentioning that, and we are telling the user it may take a while, and the email you will get it in an email after sending. So if a user click on send, here is also when we are going to report to the analytics that an export all request is being triggered. So if you want to see not by opening but by sending, with actually the export all results is really happened. So I'm click on send, and this is being closed. Actually, the closure here is going to be fixed and will be delivered in the next release, not here. So what actually I'm going to get to my inbox in a few seconds, few minutes, email. More, as I mentioned, this can be done for local scope or for CDI scope or for a blended one. Okay, so I can search for search in blended scope, and in that case, I can trigger the export all my results. We'll select, for instance, export RIS, fill in my email. Just to mention that when I clicking on the format, the definition for the export RIS or for the Excel, we are keeping the same configuration definition. It will work if you configure export RIS for the simple to work and identify several columns. We will remain with that. Same goes for the Excel. If you are defining your full display details section, the fields to be displayed, those are the fields that we are taking to the Excel. It will work the same as here. Okay, so I'm going to select the encoding, and as you can see, it's stated that it's going to be limited to up to 10,000 records. Now, I just want to emphasize the results are going to be sorted with the same query sort that we use here. So if you're in a local scope and you sort by date news, the results are going to remain with the same order over there. But in blended scope, we are not doing any blending any blending logic when we are combining the file that is going to be attached to the user. So the sort will be remain within the same group. All of CDI records will be sorted by the same sort query. All of CDI local will be sorted over there, but we're not going to do any logic over there. So just note that. And clicking on the sends, this is actually conclude my demo on this great option of export all results. Now back to the presentation. So let's emphasize some more on that. So the export all results is going to be enabled by default. As I mentioned, it's available only for signed in, and we encourage guests to log in if needed. I have already mentioned that we are supported in for CDI and local, and there will be use cases like if you have WordCat and local, you only the user will get only partial set of the records, of course, only from the local. We're not going to export from to support this export all from for external search engine. If you are using search webbook or other search and external search engine, deep search, we are not going to support the export all from that. We have this indication that explain the user that not all of the search results will be supported. It's up to the limit. As I mentioned, we are we're supporting those kind of format. I just want to emphasize, if you are export to Excel, you will get a column list over there, but at the end we also provide links to the records. In the case of the Excel, the link will not be a permalink, it will be the full links and not a permalink, just to know that. Technically, we could not do that. And we added the disclaimer in the email. You can see here the example of how the email looks like. So the email is being attached with the results file, and you have a disclaimer that you can edit. This operation of the export all result is not supporting in mobile device, so just noted. And one last issue that I want to mention, there is we publish a list of known issues. Currently, with the August release, the export all options will not be supported from page 2, 3, and also it's going to be fixed for the next release. Okay, so just to know that the fix is coming to address that. Okay, so this was about this nurse, about the capability to export all results. Now back to you, Sima.
Thanks, Nili. The next enhancement area is the link open data. In May release, we added a new entity, the person entity, that is linked to bibliographic records, to local records that have the authorities of Library of Congress. Since then, since May release, we heard a lot of feedback from the community, a lot of inquiries. So first of all, we enhanced the documentation to be clear and to reflect the things that we saw that are interesting for the community. We fixed some accessibility issues and we did some more improvements. The first one, as you can see in the screen, is the addition of the copyright information in order to give more credit to the information coming from Wikipedia. We added a link to the copyrights. Another improvement is for the thumbnails. Until now, the logic was based on synthetics only, and from now on, it will have similar logic to same like the Primo VE search, meaning the thumbnails that appears in the Primo VE search, meaning we are going to base also on Alma-D, on local settings, on Google, and of course, as previously, also on synthetics. Lily, can you move on to the next slide, please? Thanks. BibFrame is becoming a very popular format, especially in terms of linked data. That's why we started supporting BibFrame also in Primo VE. Here we can see the enhancement of adding a match point based on URI. So Ferrer and Dedup will have a match point based on the URI for BibFrame records. As you can see on the screen, we have two records here. Those are the same books, but the titles are different and the editions are different. But based on the URI, we are able to identify that those are the same records. And this is how we can do further or dedupe grouping cluster based on the URI. And now, Winnie, back to you for the notable items.
Okay, so we also want to highlight that recently we have completed integration with PressReader. An announcement was published on that. With that, with that integration, you can now, if you are institution that is subscribed to PressReader, you can now use the Primo Search webbook and configure it to be pointed into PressReader so that your user, while searching in Primo, can have also see and search for material coming from PressReader as if it's in the same look and feel from the Primo. So they, once you define a search webbook, you can have a dedicated PressReader scope and go ahead and search for the PressReader material. So you can find in the CKC, in the Knowledge Center and Google more information about that and enjoy that. So this was about more option, more material available from Primo. Now, another improvement that we want to highlight is that we improve Arabic searches. So it's really to answer regional needs. What we are doing is Arabic is considered to be a more complex language, really same as Hebrew. In order to better and improve the Arabic searches, we integrated Melingo, as Melingo is a dedicated search plugin that is expert in Arabic, and now this can be available from August for a specific environment that use Arabic materials. So this is available. Now, so far we cover the highlights that are coming in this August release for Primo VE and for the Primo back office, the nursing announcement. And now we're really excited to share with you more about what we are doing with the area of the next discovery experience. And the next discovery experience actually is the umbrella of how we envision the next, how the discovery is going to look like in the next years, as we are going to have a new UI for the NDE, and we are going to have alongside with this new UI, a new user engagement analytics. We are using Mixpanel. We are very excited. You probably see the email yesterday that we are looking for patents. We're really excited from the collaboration from the community, and we are getting a lot of request to join us. We'll talk more about that. Sima will also explain about the link open data and the Primo Research Assistant. So all of those 4 building blocks that we are having under the umbrella of this next discovery experience. Some of you may expose to that at the Luna. Some of you will also be update on that as Igloo is in front of us. And I think that we will also have a dedicated webinar with more demos after Igloo for all of you. But let's see what is actually, well, let's see the status is actually what is being done. So talking about NDE UI, we're actually working on new UX for Primo pages. We are actually trying to have more modern design. You can see in the mock-up how the new search results page is going to look like, how the full display is going to look like, and there are much more mock-ups that we are working. We're trying to really work and emphasize convenience and to simplify the workflows and also to adjust more moderns and habits that our user adjust to. We also want to share that, of course, this is going to be also from technology and upgrade, as we are going to use Angular version and not the Angular JS. we are whenever we are thinking on a feature on that, we are thinking of what more options we would like to give you in order to help you brand and tailor the interface to your needs. We are also coming with the experience of the existing UI and working with the focus group, and they help us. We have some, we built some custom module, as we know that there are a lot of customization that are going to, that are done. We are going to present, we already present demo of that for some community representative, and we are going to give early access for the customization starting of middle of August or something like that. We are going to give early access to that. If you are part of the Igloo Developer Day, there's going to be a demo over there as well. And we want to share that whenever we're doing a new pages, new designs, we also thinking accessibility. We're sending those mockups to external company. We are getting the best practices, and we're trying to implement them as well. Now let's see the status. So we're working with a UX focus group. They're really collaborative, and thank you all that are part of that. We have 7 customers, and we are on monthly basis reviewing mockups and workflow with them. We have also managing threads and consultancy over there on the base cap. And we would like to highlight that really on this month, on July 24, we give them an early access. So those customers are the first to experience. Of course, they still see a product in development, but they have the tolerance for all of that, and we are giving the feedback. We already gave them the user snap tool, the feedback tool, to go ahead and feedback us, and we are getting the feedback, and we are excited to get it. So we believe catching things on times will help to deliver a good quality and new UI for you. What are the next steps? As I mentioned, soon we are going to give early access to the customization model and build with you the community, the process and the training, and all of the echo of providing a new customization module. We also would like to have early adopters. We are going to, through the end of the year, would like some early adopters, the customers that are willing to switch interface. Let's see, we will be glad to work with them. We need to see that it's really match. Anyhow, we are going to be ready with the general release from starting of May 25. We are going to give you a sneak peek or early access probably on top of February 25, so you can have a sneak peek and evaluate your customization if you consider to switch on top of 25. And of course, this is we are very excited with that. And next, more exciting is the user engagement analytics. We choose to work with Mixpanel. Mixpanel is an analytics platform. It's really great. It's going to be very real-time dynamic. It's give you an option to track your user engagement. As you can see here, you can have a user journey. So you can really, we are remain keeping session. Of course, all of the user data is kept, and we are not saving data on your user. It's anonymized user, but we are giving each user some kind of ID, and we know and track the user journey. So how to see the user, what he's doing after the search. If he search going into the full display, what is interesting is whether a full display or online link or like a drop off. You can do a better analysis of how your user is engaged with Primo. So it's very excited. What is the status in terms of that? So we do have the Primo Engagement Analytics Focus Group. It consists of 10 customers. And 1 consortia. We are working with them, and they really help us to as they are experienced now Mixpanel on top of Primo VE, as we are sending not all of the event, a partial list and main events like search at facets events, for instance, from Primo VE into Mixpanel. And now they can see and benefits how many users are signed in, how many are there retained. It's, as I mentioned, it's really a real time. You can click in Primo VE, do perform a search, you can immediately see a new search is being triggered. You can even see the query, the search term. It's unlike the OBI. It's really limited with like having a popular searches report execute one on monthly basis. Now you can see in daily, monthly, weekly, all of the searches that your user prefers, and have that, as I mentioned, the user journey. We are working with the Primo engagement focus group also to help us see if the OTB reports are useful and what reports are going to be useful. And we are also working with them how to share reports across teams and across communities. So all of that, the work that we are doing. In terms of the roll-ups, I just want to be very clear. As we mentioned, the NDE new UI is going to use only Mixpanel as the new analytics platforms, and you're going to love it. And the timeline for that is starting of May 25. Whoever want to have the NDE, we will get also access to Mixpanel. Now, at that phase, as a learning, and also you can benefit for that, we are actually having a early adopter program for Primo VE. So for a selected group of customer, they can have Mixpanel alongside with the OBI analytics. Mixpanel will report a partial list of events, but anyhow, this can be very useful. We already sent that in the email. I have also added here that like join us in the journey. We are really excited from the collaborative community that we have as we get many requests from you that you are willing to work with us on the Mixpanel, and we build the plan, the one that already submitted. We will build the plan by August. You will get more schedule when, if you are registering, when and if you will get that. So really exciting. So I've shared with the new UI and user engagement, and I'm passing that now to Sima, who leads the research assistants and link data.
Thanks, Neely. So the third milestone of the next discovery experience is the research assistant. We saw how artificial intelligence keep growing and evolving, and we thought internally how we can benefit from it and which value we can provide using AI to our users. That's how we came to the idea of the research assistant. As you can see in the screen, this is the result, actually. You don't see the natural language option. The end user will enter natural language query. Based on this query, we will communicate with the large language models and will compose, first of all, an overview, a brief response based on the resources that we used, and will provide 5 top-ranked sources which were used for the overview for the results. Using the view more results, the end user will be able to see the full list of results. The results are based on CDI, on Central Data Index. We are using trusted content. We want our users to search only in our resources. We don't want to send them to whatever AI is capable to send them. That's why we are providing a streamlined search inside CDI based on natural language queries. And at the bottom, we are also providing with related research questions that can assist the end user to continue with the exploration and with the discovery. So we see the research assistant as a good starting point for a research, for a discovery experience to start investigating a specific subject or a question. This great new feature is going to be released during the 4th quarter of the year. Need if you can move on to the next slide, please. Now we are already at the middle of a beta testing program. We have 18 customers worldwide that are already enabled. 16 of them are Primo VE customers, 2 of them are Salmon. The Primo VE customers are already enabled the research assistant in their production environment. They are testing it and providing us feedback. At the first phase of this program, we provided the users, the participants of this program with a secured environment, our internal environment, where they tested. The second phase included production enablement, and that's where we are now. So we started the program in June, and we're continuing it until the beginning of August. We're getting great feedback, and we have users, we have participants from all over the globe, and actually it's really beneficial for us because we are getting the opportunity to hear feedback about different languages, about the queries, the labels in different languages, to see different cultural perspectives on this on the research assistant. And of course, the customers are sharing with us their unique experiences and their feedback. The next steps for us is fine-tuning the prompt, the way that we are communicating with the LLM and the kind of response that we are providing, and we are keep working on the UX. Both of those areas are basing on the feedback that we are keep getting from the beta testing participants. We are keep fine-tuning the languages support. Currently all the Primo patron-facing languages are supported. As I mentioned, the general release is going to be at the last quarter of the year. We're going to release some documentation soon about it. We'll keep you posted. The fourth building block of the next discovery experience is the linked data, which you already had the opportunity to test and to enable. In May release, we released a new entity into Primo, the person entity. This entity is based on Library of Congress and is being enriched with Wikidata. The person entity is coming in 2 main workflows of Primo VE. The first one is the autocomplete, where the user start typing, they're getting 2 suggestions of persons. The second workflow where the person is involved is the info cards, which are the persons that are related to a bibliographic record. In the full record page, you will be able to see the persons that are linked to this record. Currently, we're supporting, this was our first phase where we supported local records that are linked to Library of Congress authorities. From these 2 main workflows, selecting one of the persons will take you to the full person page. As you can see on the right side, thank you, Lily. You will be able to notice the person page where we are providing the user with some basic information about the person and 3 carousels. The first one is title written about this person, the second one, title written by this person, and the last one, which you cannot see in the screen, is linked person to this particular person. Clicking on one of those thumbnails will take you either to the bibliographic record, to the full record page of this record, or to the person page of this record. This is what was released in the first phase in May. As I mentioned in the first half of the session, in August release, we have a few more enhancements in this area. And now to the status of the linked person entity. Thanks, Philip. We released it in May, and we are currently looking into potential enhancements. The concrete enhancement that we're currently working on a design for is supporting bibliographic record that use additional authority types. Currently, we're supporting only Library of bibliographic records that are linked to Library of Congress authorities, and right now we're looking into enhancing it into additional authority types. We got a lot of questions about supporting BNF, GND, and more authority types, and that's why we are now working on a design to include all authority types that are included in the VF. We hope to release it towards the end of the year or the beginning of the next year. I've put over here in this slide few potential enhancements that we are currently working on, that we are currently thinking about, and checking the feasibility and estimations of doing those things, because we really want to enhance this feature. We saw how much value it provides to our users. The first one is supporting additional languages, not only English. The second one is enriching also central data index record with persons. Currently, as I mentioned, we're supporting only local records. And the last one is going beyond the persons and supporting additional entities such as subject, geographic, and more. We covered the 4 pillars of the discovery, the next discovery experience, and now to the sneak peek into November release. In November release, we're going to have 2 NERS ideas implemented. The first one is improving CDI exact search when searching exact search using quotation marks or the exact search method. We will fine tune the results to include only the exact phrase that was searched. This is the first NERS idea that is going to be implemented. The second one is the second phase of the HTML tags support. And just remind you that the first one was implemented in February, where we added a list of labels to be supported with HTML tags. We're currently working with the Primo working group in order to establish this list of labels for the second phase. And the last enhancement for November release is in the area of collection discovery. We would like to provide the administrator the option to tag external records with collections. Until now, collections from collection discovery are only local records can be associated to collections. We would like to provide you with the ability to tag also external records and to link it to collections. It is going to be done via the input profile. We are finalizing the design soon, and we plan to release it in November. The next event is Igloo. We're going to meet you, hopefully all of you in Igloo conference in September. Over here in the screen, you can see some of the sessions that we'll be delivering. We hope to see you there and during the event. Feel free to stop by, to ask any question, to say hello. All from product team, we're going to participate. Nili is going to participate, Israel, and myself. In terms of documentation, where we published August release notes, the links are attached to this presentation, which we'll share afterwards. And that's it. Thank you. Thanks a lot for your great feedback. You see how your words, how your feedback is shaping the product and providing us with great insights and ideas to enhance the product. So thank you for that. And now we'll move on to the Q&A part.
Thank you, Sima. This is great. I can start read the questions.
Great.
Okay. Great. Thank you. So one of the question is, will this export all results also allow people to export all of their favorites? I think that there is an export all favorites, but it's limited to some amount. It's not the same capability. It's not the same challenges. You can't export such amount of records from favorites. It's really work differently. Please do not. The export all favorites should work as today, and I believe it's more than like 50. Okay, another question is, since the user needs to be signed in to export everything, is there any records of the export on their user record? So if you can clarify, I'm not really understand what is the meaning. I will get to that after, which if you can clarify more about that. Next question is, why do I need to fill in the mail address when I'm logged in? We're talking about the export or that. There should be a mail address attached to my user account, shouldn't it? Yes, there should be an automatically fill while you are logged in. We should take and fill in the email address should be automatically filled, not like as I am typed. This is like a demo user. We probably don't assign over there an email because we are like working as a Primo user for. So yeah, if the email is assigned to my account, the user it will be filled automatically. Thank you for highlighting that. Next question. If the user wants to export more results that go over the limit, is there a way to send in multiple files to get the rest of the results? No, this is currently not supported. We are going to have up to top 5,000 results. We're not giving any pagination or bulks. It's not in bulk, it's all in one go up to that limit. There is a lot of challenges for the search engine to go behind such limitations. So it's currently not available. Listen, if the limit is not okay with you, if you will get feedback from users that this is not enough, you can talk to us and we can see what can be done. We can then measure how many of measure based on the usage and performance and see. So if this limitation is not enough, please address it with us. Another question. For the bulk export options, the release note states that there is an enable export all option within the configure view. I'm not seeing this option with my Alma Primo VE sandbox. Can I ask you to open a support case for that, just to we clarify if something is wrong with the documentation? There should be an option to disable that. Another request is you went over the fast on the known issues for the bulk export. Can you give a few more details? Yes, I will try to explain. Currently, the export all results is available only from page 1. If you going and click on the next page, if you select, there will be no, and so select the checkbox, you will not be able to see currently the export or result button. This is a bug, non-issue that is already fixed for September release in Primo VE. So this is one a non-issue, and the other one, when the user click on the send action, um, the bar where the export all results appears should be sliding, should be auto collapsed. So this will be also available with the September release. Fixed and available with September release. I hope that this is really clear, and there is a Primo VE non-issue page, and we will update it when this is already fixed. Okay, another question. How one of the question is regarding with the NDE. Next summary is, how long can we stay on Primo VE after Primo VE NDE is launched? How long do we have from transition? So I just want to share when we launch in the existing UI, we call it back then a new UI in 2016. I think it took like 6 years on transition for all of the customer. Most of them transitioned in August 2018, but a lot, but there are few that remain until we really force them. So the policy will not be like, we will not wait for 6 years until everyone will switch, of course, but as we appreciate and value your time and resources, we will introduce the NDE, we will make it available for you if there are feature priorities, we will publish them. So you can choose when you want to do the transform. We will value your feedback and work. We think it's a good value to have this new interface with the technology which is upgraded, but it's up to you. We are not doing some kind of timeline. We probably after being released, there will be some kind of we will want to encourage, but it won't be 6 years as our previous export, but we will not be put a timeline that is really like 1 year because we do know about the effort of you switching customization. But anyhow, once this will be ready, and if you're really interested, you can work with us and we can prioritize based on your needs. The NDE new UI is going to be the new UI for the Primo VE. Yeah. So we do encourage to go ahead and look for that, but it's based on your resources. Okay, another question was on the mock-up of the Primo VS. It looks like there is no facet bar on the left in the NDE. Is that correct? Would we be able to customize the NDE to keep the facet column if we want? So yes, one of the things that we change in the NDE, we put the filters at the top. We put the filter at the top, but alongside with the filter at the top, we also give more quick filters at the top. So eventually you will be able to choose most usable facet to be available from the top. As I already shared, we open that as a feedback for our customer, and indeed one of the feedback that we get for those early access customer, whether the user will be able to pin the facet like from the left if they want it to be pinned always, or to have a setting for that. So we are considered to have that. So maybe this not something that you will do in customization. It depends on the timeline. We will consider to let the user choose whether you want always it to be happy. But it's really we're trying to go with this approach of available facet, quick facets from the top, and let's see with the pinned icon. Okay, next question. When do developer who cannot attend conference in person get access to the new interface and dev tool for testing? So as I mentioned, after the Igloo events, we will do a dedicated webinar for the next Discover experience. We will demo and do things, present things same as we are doing in person at the Igloo or Luna. We will try to make it available for all. As I mentioned, we are going to give a sneak peek on February 24th, so you will be able to evaluate yourself. And in February 25, and in May 25, you will be able to have access to that and evaluate and estimate that. Next question for you, Sima. Research assistant, who is liable if the assistant returns wrong or misleading answer?
Okay, thanks. So of course we're using LLM here, and we cannot take full responsibility for the data returned. We do know about the trusted scope, meaning we are providing the LLM with the metadata and abstract of specific resources in CDI. So we have a disclaimer, and we will have full explanations over there with a link to the guidelines and what is happening behind the scenes and who is responsible. But again, this is a call to the LLM, which we cannot always predict. So the data is trusted. We are using only the CDI, but we cannot predict the exact response of the LLM. The next question is for you, Nili.
Is there a cutover date when customer must use the new NDUI? As mentioned, I believe that in the first 1 or 2 years, we will not have a cutover, maybe later. This will need to be discussed also with the Primo working group, and we will see with that. At the moment, there is no. Next question, will we be able to disable the research assistant? This is for you, Sima.
Yeah, and you mentioned many organizations have intense vetting process for using generative AI. So first of all, we are not opting it in by default. It is disabled by default. Once released, you will be able to enable it. You can enable it in view level. The setup will be in the configure views. And this is actually relevant for the next question as well. Will there be an option to disable research assistant at the institutional or consortial level? The enablement will be based on the view setup. In configure views, you will be able to disable or enable the research assistant, which will be disabled by default. The next one is also about research assistant. Mentioned that Iluna was the possibility of limiting how many queries could be run per day per user. Is this still the case? If so, is there a sense of the number? So we are going to release it as an MVP during the last quarter of the year, and we will see the usage. We have a very rough threshold for us because again, it costs money to call the LLM to cost the GPT. And so we have a preventative measure just for a maximum threshold, but it's not, we are not limiting it at this stage. We are looking into the potential limitations because we cannot afford the endless calls to the LLM. That's why we will be learning it during the implementation. Once it will be released, we will see the usage and see the probability to maybe limit it per institution. We are looking into this direction. We don't know yet because we cannot currently estimate the usage of the sites in the research assistant. There has been issues with bias associated with AI. The research assistant AI sounds interesting, but how are you going to, at very least, try to avoid bias when using research assistant to search Primo? So the research assistant is not searching Primo. We are providing the LLM. The research assistant is searching Primo. The LLM is not searching Primo. We are providing the LLM with a set of resources to based on. It is according to the query, the LLM help assist us in building the solar query behind the scenes, and then we are providing the LLM with a set of resources of CDI. Is the AI responding based on abstract from the CDI only, or is it including full text? It is not including full text, and once released, we will also describe what exactly it is searching on the entirety of CDI, but there are some, we are going to exclude some resources. So we are going to document it all. It is going to be based on the abstracts and the metadata of the CDI resources.
I think
the next one is about bulk export needing.
Yeah, so the clarification from the question before, I want to know if staff will be able to see in Alma that a user has done the export all action. This is a question about user privacy. No, so as a staff cannot see that the user perform an export alt. You can only see in the Primo Analytics the user, how many user trigger and use the export all. Next is the research assistant for you, Sima.
Do we need to subscribe to certain ProQuest e-resources to use the research assistant? If so, which ones? The set of resources that we are going to use are the free resources of CDI, as if your institution was using the expand results search method in CDI, meaning not limiting it to foods. So you don't need to subscribe to particular collections in order to be able to use the research assistant.
I think that next one is for the export all, is email fill in for export of the list. So if I want to email that list to someone else, autofill would be a hassle. Like in reference interview, I help the user find things and can then send the list to them. I think that the workaround for that, if you have a library staff, a reference librarian would like to export all for a user, maybe the solution will be not to have the email saved while you are signed in, or to have it as signed in. Then it will be your email saved as a signed in, then it will be not auto-filled automatically, and then you can fill in a specific user. This is yes, this is a dash suggestion. Maybe for later thinking, like how you want to personalize things. I know that some customer always want more personalized option. Maybe one of the setup will be whether to fill in automatic fill in email in that, and then if we have if we develop such a capability, this will solve. But it's enhancement to do. Another question, will back office still be supported? So the back office, we are not sunsetting any product, any flavors. Of course, Primo back office customer are feeling that less and less enhancements are coming, but we are not forcing anyone to move. We believe the transition to be, if you are Primo and Alma institution, the move to VE, we do believe and want to encourage the move to Primo VE. We do we can state that the roadmap for the Primo back office is being reduced as the attention is moving to Primo VE, and also attention is moving to the NDE. So I think that is imply. But in terms of back office, you are getting support for question and all that. You will see less and less enhancement in that area. Can one have one Primo view with Primo VE and one for Primo NDE for testing purpose? Yes. This is going to be available for you. You will be able to work in parallel until you decide to do the switch. More. Okay, I think that we cover all of those questions. Thank you. Thank you for everyone. Thank you, Sima, for the presentation. Thank you all for the collaborative community. It's really exciting to work on such enhancements with the Primo Working Group and on such building a vision of the next discovery experience, and with such a collaborative community that give us the feedback. So it's really excited. And yeah, we are really going to be in at Igloo, and are excited to meet some of you. As we mentioned, we are going to have also a dedicated webinar after that for all of you to enjoy and share all of the information as well. Great.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Have a great day.
Great. Thank you.
Bye bye.